Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Jess, as Lori just explained, and I am one of Morgan's good friends from chiropractic school. And I'm a chiropractor in Central South Dakota, and I do NATE and also acupuncture. And what we're talking about tonight is something called biohacking, which is basically just taking control of a complex system, in this case, our body, to get and achieve a desired outcome, to change what our potential might be. So genetically, we have this potential that is there, and we want to change our expression of our genes so that we can live to be the best person, the best version of us that we can be. So we're just going to use our nutrition to affect our gene expression. And so if this is something you haven't heard about, it's something that you will be hearing about. In fact, just this week, one of the top 50 cardiologists in the world just partnered with this company. And obviously the reason is because there is such good research to back up these products. And so we can comfortably feel like we're really not selling you a product. We're just sharing this information to you, with you. So there's a ton of research out there that we'll get into, but what I want to start us off with is something that kind of launched this company into the forefront of nutrigenomics and this movement toward a healthier version of ourselves. So in 2005, there was an ABC Primetime investigative report done on our flagship product called NRF2 Protandim. So we're going to watch a few minutes of that ABC Primetime to get started here.
The following is an ABC Primetime investigative report that aired in 2005.
You want to get an edge on turning back the clock with just a few pills? Who doesn't? Well, it's no longer science fiction, but science possibility, a potential breakthrough. As I found out firsthand, there may be a way to erase years, at least inside my body. Granted, it's down the road, but some scientists are wondering if a new pill I took might offer a very long life.
It may not look like the fountain of youth, but inside this nondescript building, I'm about to become part of an exciting experiment, a kind of guinea pig.
Dr. McCoy, okay.
I'm here at the University of Colorado in Denver to meet Dr. Joe McCord, a world-renowned scientist.
This is pretty exciting stuff you're finding, huh?
It is. We're very excited about it.
His latest research could very well unravel the mystery of aging itself. And his decades of experiments may have the potential of adding years to people's lives and possibly prevent chronic diseases like cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. It all centers around this small yellow pill, and for me, it begins with a blood test.
Yeah, there we go.
It wouldn't be the first time I've given blood for this company.
They want to check my levels of something called T-bars, which is a rough indicator of a person's actual age. T-bars can identify a condition known as oxidative stress, a kind of measure of the wear and tear on our bodies. Oxidative stress, like the rusting of an engine, is not a good thing.
Bad for the body,
Leading to disease.
leading to disease and leading to malfunction, and importantly, leading to what we call aging. It is a slow progression of increasing oxidative stress. That's the main characteristic biochemically of the aging process.
The problem of aging begins with the very food we eat to give us energy. As our cells burn that food, they also release toxic chemicals. Those chemicals, you may know them as free radicals, react with all the components of our cells, literally bombarding them millions of times per second, damaging all our cells. The result? Oxidative stress, and we all have it. The body fights back with a system of defenses. It makes two antioxidant enzymes, catalase and SOD, whose job is to gobble up the free radicals before they can harm our cells. But as we get older, some of those toxic radicals overwhelm our enzymes and wreak their havoc. For a long time, scientists thought that antioxidant vitamins like C and E would lower it, but they don't.
It's turned out in just the last 5 years or so, we see that they're not good enough tools. They're not powerful enough.
But this pill, he says, is powerful enough. In fact, many times more powerful.
So, doctor, how often do I take these?
And so, here I go. With that swallow, I've just become part of a potentially landmark scientific experiment.
Doesn't taste bad.
It's called Protandim, and tests on both mice and humans have already shown that it revs up the manufacture of those good enzymes in our bodies. More enzymes, fewer free radicals to harm us. Whether that will lead to longer life is still unknown. Experiments to see if mice live longer are about to get underway, but it's a tantalizing theory.
Right now, all we know is that this preparation decreases oxidative stress. Oxidative stress is not a disease, just like aging is not in itself a disease, but it's something that accompanies and is attached to many disease processes.
Have you discovered the fountain of youth?
I wouldn't put it that way, but we may have discovered something that will tell us a lot more about how we age, what happens biochemically, and maybe how we can slow it down. And so you can see the age-related.
Normally, oxidative stress, measured by those T-bars, increases with age. But in Dr. McCord's tests, taking just one pill of Protandim a day reversed that trend for everyone at every age, even for an 80-year-old.
They all are reduced to the level of oxidative stress that one would expect, frankly, in a newborn or a very young child.
Back to the oxidative stress levels of a child? It sounds too good to be true. Will Protandim work on me?
But what about my progress? After nearly 2 weeks now, it's time to get my results. Dr. McCord calculates the numbers. The result, my level of oxidative stress has declined dramatically.
45%, that's excellent.
Just look at where I fall on the graph, before and after.
Which, if extrapolated back, is the level you would see in a newborn baby.
Have we turned back the clock? Well, maybe not on the outside, but deep inside within my cells. Yes, indeed.
The following is an
Okay, so I kind of cut off the ABC there. And I definitely, if you haven't seen the whole thing, that I would like you to finish. And then at the end of that, there is kind of an update, because obviously that was aired in 2005, so it kind of brings you up to date with the products. But since we're going to be covering all of those at this meeting, I just wanted you to get a little glimpse of that ABC, and maybe you've already watched it anyway. But so what we're going to talk about now is what I call the company's story. So in 2003, Dr. McCord and his team came up with the blend of the 5 natural components that are in Nerf2 Protandim, and they had 1 peer-reviewed, published, studied, and 1 patent on their blend. And then in 2005, this ABC primetime report aired, and overnight they had $5 million in sales. But they were a small biotech company with a bunch of nerdy scientists, really, and they had no way of generating that product that quickly. And so they kind of had a bad reputation right out of the gate, but they quickly were on retail shelves, GNC, Walgreens, all kinds of stores like that. But nobody knew what a Nerf2 what Protandim, a Nerf2 activator, was, because there's a story that needs to be told, and you have to be able to explain the product and lead people to the research so they understand what it's doing, because it's not like anything else out there. So, but major universities and institutions began doing self-funded research based on the fact that they finally had a study, the very first study, that proved that we could reduce oxidative stress. So reducing your oxidative stress load by 40% in 30 days is what we are FDA approved to say. But we don't claim to diagnose, treat, or cure any disease or condition. So we're a publicly traded company, and the company switched from retail to direct sales in 2009. And the reason is because nobody knew what it was. They weren't selling very much. And so they hired a marketing consultant, and he suggested that they switch from retail to direct sales, where somebody told you this story. They told you how this was formulated. They told you what it actually did in your body, and they led you to the research. And they did that. And they did a 6-week trial on that. And direct sales won by 300%. And this is when McCord and his team realized they're going to have to do what was suggested, because at first they're like, no, that sounds like MLM and network marketing, and we're not interested. There's too much of a negative stigma. But when they switched, they grew from less than 10 million to over 200 million in a year, in just that first year alone. These are some of the universities and institutions that have done research on Nerf2 Protandim. We're endorsed by the American Heart Association and the American Cancer Society. So what is oxidative stress? Oxidative stress is literally just the wear and tear on our bodies. It is aging, it's oxidation. This apple gives a perfect example of how we look so much different when we're young than we do when we're older. And it is this gradual process. And every cell in our body is affected by these free radicals that we release in normal everyday processes. So you can see by this chart that there's multiple things, multiple systems, you can have oxidative stress affecting you everywhere. And we release even more free radicals, not only in those everyday processes, but when we expose ourselves to toxic situations, like different forms of radiation, even excess exercising, things in our environment or our water, just food, lots of different things. So why should you care? So basically what happens with our Nerf2 Protandim is that within every cell, there is a protein messenger called NRF2 in the nucleus. And when we activate that cell, that protein messenger attaches to our DNA and it causes an expression of certain genes. One of those 10 to 25,000 human genes that it affects is a gene for our antioxidant production. So we start producing antioxidants at a rate of 1,000,000 to 1 every second. Now think about that. What used to be considered a solution to oxidative stress were direct antioxidants. Think about the food pyramid, you guys. Used to be like the amount of fruits and vegetables that we had to consume were pretty small, and then they've increased the amount of fruits and vegetables, and now it's like super fruits, super grains, push, 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 and we still need all the goodness that comes from our fruits and vegetables. So I am not in any way saying you do not need to eat these, you do, but not for their antioxidant benefit. You need to get the antioxidant benefit from activating your body to produce it on its own, which is what it was designed to do and it used to do before we made it so toxic. Okay, so with our product, there are 5 components: ashwagandha, bacopa, green tea, milk thistle, and curcumin or turmeric. These 5 components, look at what they can do on their own. Now you put them together in the exact blend that was developed, and they got an 1,800% increase in their effectiveness. This is the power of synergy, and this is what McCord's team did that no other scientist had done before and has done since. Nerf2 may well become the most extraordinary therapeutic and most extraordinary preventive breakthrough in the history of medicine. This was released in 2015 on the benefits of Nerf2 as an antioxidant and anti-inflammatory, and its other, based on its cytoprotective mechanisms. This is the protection of every cell in your body. And when you think about that on the very simplest level, we are but 37 trillion cells. And this cellular activator affects every single cell in your body within seconds of taking it. It's amazing. This study was released by a company called Biogenetic, a drug company, and it was published in the Multiple Sclerosis Journal. BG12 is their code name for it. But what the drug company found was that, interestingly, Protandim, a dietary supplement consisting of herbal ingredients, was the most potent inducer of the Nerf2 pathway, that is, and therefore may be the most suited as a therapeutic strategy. Well, what this drug is designed for is for protection of oligodendrocytes. These are on the simplest level, the basic nerve cell, the basic cell inside your central nervous system. Do you know how huge this is, not just for MS, but think about all the other neurological conditions that you have heard of, you know, from MS, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, ALS, neuropathies, Lyme's disease, autoimmune diseases. There's so many things that fall into this category where oligodendrocytes are the primary target of our bodies. So, but this is very huge. So with NRF2 activation, we are decreasing that cellular wear and tear. We're reducing that oxidative stress load by 40% in 30 days. We also get a cumulative effect, so that by month 3, we're seeing about a 70% reduction. By month 4, we're also seeing a 300% increase in glutathione production, which is our body's master detoxifier antioxidant. Very cool. There was also a study released by the National Institute of Aging, which is our government's National Institute of Health, that found that Protandim was the only natural product proven to extend lifespan. Whoa. NRF2 helps to regulate your body's survival genes, and we also have the stamp of the BSCG and NSF, so elite athletes can use this and pass all of their screens because it's not a drug. That's the biggest problem I think people have, honestly, in the entire world, oxidative stress. But the second problem that you can have is mitochondrial dysfunction. So again, you'll see these conditions that are commonly associated with mitochondrial dysfunction. But on the simplest level, again, because I like things simple, let's talk about mitochondria. These are the powerhouse of the cell, the energy producing part. And so what happens is when you have dysfunction of that, your cell can't do the job that it was designed to do as well as it should be. So what we have is a solution for that. What we see with mitochondrial dysfunction in the everyday person, in your average person, is people that are tired or sick and tired of being tired. They're tired all day long. They don't want to get out of bed. They have a mid-morning slump. They have an afternoon lull. They're tired in the evening. They're just tired, exhausted, fatigue. So what we get with NRF1 activation is very similar to NRF2. Again, we activate the cell and that protein messenger within inside the nucleus is activated. It attaches to your DNA and it causes an expression of certain genes. In this case, what we see is mitochondrial repair, mitochondrial replication, and ATP production. So what do we get? We repair the engine, the old engine in the car. We give it new engines, and then we give it fuel. So what we see is an increase in cellular energy, which is your mental energy, which then contributes to physical energy. So your performance is better. You have better sleep, and better healing processes, and you have this networking ability in your brain that's better. It's just very cool how much energy you get from this. In fact, probably the biggest thing that I'll hear people say when they start taking this product is, I cannot nap. Like, I can't lay down in the middle of the day and nap. And I used to be able to do that. And isn't that a good thing? I mean, to get to the point where you just really don't need the nap. Anyway, so problem number 2 is mitochondrial dysfunction. The third thing is a leaky gut, or a poor gut, I might say, poor gut health. So you can see these conditions again that are associated, and this is a probiotic, and many of you have probably heard of the many benefits of a probiotic, but I'm going to go with just the number 1 reason, and that is that 70 to 90% of your immune function comes from these good guys in your guts. So every person needs a good probiotic that they're taking. And what makes this one different than others is it has 6 different strains, which is great. And it also, but what's cool about it is this BioHack lining. So they put this technology on it so that it's dynamically compressed, and this lining allows it to bypass your stomach acid and get to the small and large intestine where it needs to be. And then it slow releases, starting with the ones that need to be released in the small intestine, traveling through your gut to your large intestine, and over that 10 to 12 hour period. So they're not susceptible to temperature or light. So they don't have to be refrigerated, which is rare to find a good probiotic that doesn't need that because of this technology that's on it. They also added Wellmune, which has its own website, wellmune.com. But they are yeast beta-glucans that are found in colostrum, which is a mother's first milk. So you really get another immune powerhouse added in with these good guys. So the survival rate of this probiotic is 60% versus the average rate of most probiotics is 4%. So we have a 15 times more effective probiotic right here. Super cool. Fourth and final problem that most people have is a fatty imbalance. Especially Americans, we tend to have an overabundance of omega-6s and a really strong lack of good fats, especially omega-3s. So this is your omega-3s, EPA and DHA for your nervous system, cardiovascular system, immune system, and obviously your skin. And then omega-7 for weight and metabolism, and a tiny bit of vitamin D. And this is such a pure form of fish oil where it's traceable from boat to bottle. My kids love to chew this, even though it's not actually a chewable fish oil. It's a soft gel, but it's not made to be chewable, but they love it. So anyway, the fish oil, Omega Plus. So very briefly, we're going to go through the other products, and then, like I said, we're going to have room for time for questions at the end. So this is Nerve2 activation for your skin. After the National Institute of Aging released their study that we had the only supplement proven to extend lifespan in our Nerve2 Protandim product, they came to the company and said, well, if you can do this from the inside out, why don't you have something from the outside in? So with our skin being our largest organ, there's a 4-step line here with the same blend of our Nerve2 Protandim in it to activate the skin from the outside in. The other thing is we do have a couple of other cool studies from Louisiana State University that showed that from Nerve2 activation that skin cancers, including melanomas, were falling off of skin by just activating from the inside out. So now we have that double force again when we have both together. And this is Axio. Axio is Nerve2 activation for your brain chemistry. And let me tell you, everybody's brain needs this. So we have Axio, there's 2 flavors of decaf, 3 flavors of regular. And what this does is allows the chemicals in your brain to get to the part of the brain that they need to go to. So this fits in the category of energy drinks because there are B vitamins in it. But honestly, the components of this are designed really to activate your brain to function at a higher capacity. And what we know is that when we have mental energy, that's going to translate into physical energy in our day too. So this really is a smart energy. So if you look at this picture here, we see before Nerve2 and Axio, this little guy's ability to focus and write, and then after 1 week, look at that difference. And this is a little guy with ADHD, really severe ADHD. This is pretty instant when you drink Axio as well. Physique is our weight management line. This is just based on demand, you guys. Everybody's looking for ways to manage their weight. So there's a protein shake with slow and fast release amino acids, the fat burn, which is targeted at our visceral fat, the stuff that's surrounding our organs and midline that is the most dangerous fat, and probiotic, probio, which we already talked about, and then cleanse, which is designed to remove that gunk out of our intestines that's been in there for way too long and help heal up that lining so we start digesting, absorbing a little bit better as well. So Physique. And then Pet Tandem is Protandim Nerve2 product specifically designed for a dog. So people were giving Nerve2 to their dogs, and so they just reformulated this to be more suited for our 4-legged friends. So networking, this is my version of the business, and because I really got interested in this company based on research I'd done on nutrition. Honestly, starting back to Morgan's first cancer diagnosis, and so it was really geared toward cancer nutrition, but nutrition in general. And so that's really where I find the most importance is really I feel an obligation to share this information. But I want to talk to you about networking because I feel like so many people do this all the time and they don't even realize they do this. So food, clothes, supplies, decoration services, and so much more. So if you go to a restaurant and say the food is really good and the service is impressive, what do? You go and you tell somebody. And if they're going to go out for supper, they're like, hey, you know, we should go to this place because Joe said it was really good. The service was good. Why not? You know, so you do that. If your best friend tells you she found her favorite pair of leggings and tells you where she got them, you might try them just because, well, they were her favorite, so why not try it too, you know? Or even in my practice, you know, my practice has grown and become very successful, and it's because when people are happy with their care, what do? They tell other people, and so that referral base has really allowed me to have a thriving practice as well. So networking, I feel, is something people do all the time. They really just don't realize that they're doing it. But with this company, there's basically 2 ways to get involved. 1, a preferred customer, or 2, as a distributor. And with both, you're getting wholesale pricing. Both, you're choosing the products you want. And with both, the products are getting delivered directly to you. We eliminate the middleman. And the difference between the two is that distributors get paid to network. So there is also one other way to get involved, and that is, say you're really not thinking this is for you, but say you know somebody that it could benefit. Maybe in your mind when you were going through this, there were people just Rolodexing through your mind that you're like, this could really help this person that you know. You know, referrals are something that are also a great way to be involved too. So with this company, I want to show you where we are, is right where that little black dot is on the line. So at the very beginning stages of this. So I want to compare this to other companies that are very similar. So what if I told you that we were iPhone, right? And if you got on right now, for every iPhone that was sold, you could get like 2 pennies, you know? And now you move fast forward to them being at the top of that curve, and you think about what that would be like for you. So it is pretty cool. We're at the very beginning of this company, and most people have never heard about it before. Because we're a publicly traded company, we got to show our income disclosure. So this is our monthly average for distributors. And to get started, so like I said before, preferred customers are just going to be purchasing products at wholesale pricing. So you just pick what you want and you purchase it. And with a distributor, you're going to buy a one-time this starter kit. And what we're going to get with that pack is basically products so that you can use them, because it's a lot easier to tell someone what it did for you when you've had it in your body. So there's a silver pack, gold pack, and a platinum pack. And if you're serious about the business, I'd highly recommend that platinum pack, because it just gives you the broadest amount of products to get trying in your body as well. So that is the products. Also, there's free shipping on what they call their subscription stacks. And so what's cool about this is that our products come in a 30-day supply. So the travel, there's the Vitality Stack right in the center. That's those 4 solutions for those 4 problems. Or the travel, which are in packets, strip packets of the Vitality Stack. And then the True Science regimen as well, which that lasts me about 6 weeks. So I don't get that every month. But otherwise, my husband and I and our 4 kids all take the Vitality Stack. So since the products come in a 30-day, the biggest problem I have for people is they don't have their subscription set up and they run out of product. And we want that cumulative effect of taking the products by activating every cell every single day. So we definitely want to make sure you get something set up coming. And you can change what's in that subscription every single month. So. All right, I just want to thank you for coming. I know that Lori appreciates your time, and I do too. And just get back with Lori. I'm going to take it off of the recording and let you ask some questions.